NCTV45, The Train, anytime on your time.
Come dine with us, come dine today. If you could use some real good food, there's a place not far away. If you could use a drink or two, or a place to go and play, come to Gallows Italian Villa today.
Hi, sir. I'm Steve Kelly with the Center.
Peppers, mouth-watering fruit, fine dressings, apples, meats. This place looks so familiar. Everyone in Newcastle has to know about it. Yes, it reminds you of when you were growing up, right in downtown Newcastle. Look at those fine lunch meats and ethnic foods. Yes, it's Joseph's.
Butts Flowers and Gifts offers top quality flower arrangements and gifts for any occasion. The pros at Butts Flowers and Gifts provide exceptional customer service, and each bouquet is hand arranged. Stop in and check out their wide selection of gift baskets and plants. They provide flower delivery service locally to Newcastle, Bessemer, Edinburgh, New Wilmington, West Pittsburgh, and across the nation. It's Butts Flowers at 120 East Washington Street in downtown Newcastle. Call 724-652-7727 or toll free 1-800-443-7726.
There's more than meets the eye. You gotta give them a Newcastle a try. The right small town for living. Look around.
NCTV45, The Train, anytime on your time.
The Beanery Depot and Deli. Coffee, made-to-order subs, snacks, and more. Meatball sandwiches, fresh and hot. Pepperoni rolls, fish sandwiches, chicken, milkshakes. The Beanery Deli. When you're hungry for something special, and it won't cost you a lot of beans.
And to be able to meet with Senator Toomey, we are so excited to have him here in Shannon Township and in Lawrence County. We don't always get this privilege to have a United States Senator here, so it is our honor. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dick Flannery, who is going to introduce him. But before I do want to introduce some of the elected officials that are here.
NCTV45, The Train, anytime on your time. The Crane Room is a restaurant. The Crane Room is a bar. The Crane Room is a banquet facility. The restaurant will please you time after time with their diverse menu. Ask about their daily specials. See the menu at craneroom.com. The bar gives you an abundance of choices with 35 beers on tap and always changing. Their banquet services are always to perfection. The Crane Room, located at 3009 Wilmington Road in Neshannock Township. Call 724-656-1553. Not one, not two, not three, but Four Brothers Urban Bistro. It's where you want to go for your next dining experience. Here are just a few of the many choices on the menu. Char-grilled filet mignon, char-grilled salmon filet, chicken over rice, Icelandic cod, chicken marsala, and ask about the saku tuna, veal, and the surf and turf. Follow them on Twitter and Facebook for daily specials. Hours are Monday through Thursday 11 to 10, Friday 11 to 11, and Saturday 4 to 11. Four Brothers, located 331 East Washington Street, downtown Newcastle. Call 724-656-4980.
Pegley's, pasta and more. When you're hungry for that great Italian taste, Bellissimo. Buonissimo. It is tremendous. You have to stop by Pegley's for pasta, sandwiches, pizza. Yes, it's Pegley's Pasta and More. For that great Italian taste. It's not just for Sunday anymore. Head over to Pegley's.
Who is the supervisor of the Shady Township? And I don't know everybody that's here, so if there's anybody else that's elected, if you could just identify yourself. If not, at this time, I'm going to introduce Steve Flannery, and he's going to introduce the senator.
Thank you. Whenever Gail Mazel's not in town and something needs to be done, he gives me a phone call. So I got it.
Let Clark's Furniture be your go-to destination for all of your furniture needs. Check this out. 7-piece bedroom by Ashley was $38.69, sold for $27.99. Great pricing on futons made by the Coaster Company. Wind furniture made in America. Great quality. Sofa sold for $547, chair only $397. 7-piece queen bedroom set by Vaughn Bassett, all American made. These are just some of the super deals at Clark's Furniture, located at 346 East Washington Street, Newcastle. Call 724-657-5668. Gentlemen, if you want to look your best with high-quality clothing, then I recommend Main Street Clothiers and Custom Tailors in downtown Newcastle. Mike Caggiano is the owner, and he and his staff have been in the business for decades, and they will always give you the right recommendations. They also carry Rondinelli tuxedos. That's Main Street Clothiers and Custom Tailors, 210 East Washington Street, downtown Newcastle. Call 724-652-3851. NCTV45, The Train, anytime on your time. The Cedars Restaurant in Newcastle wants you to indulge in the food from their pleasing menu. The Cedars features Mediterranean, pub food, Middle Eastern cuisine, and so much more. They're open every day, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Call the Cedars on the east side at 827 Addis Street, Newcastle. 724-658-9543. That's 724-658-9543.
Come to Big Polly's Sports Bar in Newcastle.
The place is spacious with all the seating you'll need, with 2 bars and a huge menu that features wings, pizza, sandwiches, burgers, pasta, and fries.
Big Polly's
is just right to watch the game. You'll love the sports memorabilia throughout the bar. There's plenty of parking too.
Big Polly's Sports Bar
in Newcastle at 207 East Long Avenue. Call 724-658-8800. That's 658-8800.
This opportunity. I've been on the Republican State Committee for 28 years. I was a delegate in Houston. I was telling people it was a lot different down there then in the energy and manufacturing sectors. In addition to his work on fiscal issues, Senator Toomey has also taken a leading role on domestic and national security matters. He has been a strong voice in opposition to the Obama administration's reckless nuclear deal with Iran and plan to close the detention center at Guantanamo Bay. Senator Toomey is also an unquestioned leader in ongoing efforts to end dangerous sanctuary city policies which threaten the safety of communities across Pennsylvania. Finally, as the media and others have scapegoated law enforcement in recent years, Senator Toomey has made it a point to stand with our police. And I would say amen to that. Senator Toomey needs our help this fall. Liberal interest groups are already pumping millions into Pennsylvania in support of his opponent, Katie McGinney. As you all may remember, she is a former bureaucrat for Ed Rendell and Tom Wolfe, who would serve as nothing more than a rubber stamp for the continuation of Barack Obama's failed border policy. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our senator back to you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out today. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us. Thanks, Dick, for that very kind introduction, and the Measle family for all the support. And I know that your husband couldn't be with us today, but he's with us in spirit. and you are with us in person, and I am very grateful. I will say that Lawrence County is an essential county because, you know, we don't have a electoral college system at the state level. We need to run up the score where we can, and here's a place we can run up the score. We got over 70% of the vote in 2010 in Lawrence County. Thanks, I know, in large part to the hard work of people in this room. And I've got to ask you to do it one more time because we're gonna need this. This is gonna be a hard-fought, close battle right down the wire. In fact, there was a story recently came out that reported that the left-wing organizations have already, from January 1 through a week ago, have already spent more money in Pennsylvania than any other state in the union. They are coming here, they want to take this seat, and what they really want to do, the real goal, is to extend and lock in the policies, completely, dismally failed policies of the Obama administration. And that's what this is about. That's what this is about for Hillary Clinton and Katie McGinty. How to make permanent this failed lurch to the left that has cost us a strong economy and that has undermined our security. Let me touch briefly on those two things if I could. First of all, it is totally unacceptable to me that here we are 8 years after a financial crisis and a serious recession. We still have feeble economic growth. We still have millions of Americans who left the workforce. They've given up trying to work. Wages aren't rising for middle-income families. They're working as hard as ever, but they're not getting ahead. This is what happens when the government takes over the economy. You know, you'd think that people might have learned some lessons from the 20th century. You look across anywhere in the globe where the government took over the economy, those economies did better. And societies where the government played a small role, those economies thrived. You know, West Germany compared to East Germany, South Korea compared to North Korea, Cuba compared to South Florida, not close, right? But yet, these guys think that if it lives, breathes, or moves, the government has to own it or at least control it. And that's what they've been doing. So when President Obama took office, the Democrats had big majorities in the House and the Senate, and they did all the things they wanted to do. Remember? Huge bailouts, nationalizing whole industries, massive overspending, unprecedented deficits, gigantic tax increases. They passed Obamacare and basically took control of health care. They passed Dodd-Frank and basically took control of financial services. And what did we get? What have we done for this? The worst economic recovery since the Great Depression itself. And what does Hillary Clinton and Katie McGinty represent? Let's double down and do more of the same. It's unbelievable. It's guaranteed to fail. What's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting to get a different outcome, right? Why would we do this? Take, one of the best stories for Pennsylvania in 100 years has been the story of energy, right? The natural gas. It's a tremendous blessing that we have this huge natural resource under the ground. It can't go anywhere until we take it out, right, and use it so that we can have lower costs for manufacturers and lower costs to heat our homes and all the other great things that come from low-cost natural gas. Well, Hillary Clinton and Katie McGinty have an idea about this. They want the EPA to take control over this whole process. On top of the fact that the DEP, Pennsylvania's own Department of Environmental Protection, currently regulates it, they want the EPA to come in and be an additional regulator. And at least in fairness to Hillary, she was candid about the purpose here. The purpose is to regulate fracking out of existence. That's pretty much what she said. Because you see, they feel the same way about natural gas as they feel about coal. And we know how they feel about coal. Once again, in a moment of candor, Hillary told us what they think about coal. She is very cavalier about destroying jobs in the coal sector. And the Obama administration has already shut down, 9 coal-fired power plants in Pennsylvania alone? And the coal industry? So on energy, Katie McGinty is right there with Hillary Clinton. By the way, fully supports cap and trade, which is nothing more than a tax on your energy consumption. But that's where these guys are coming from. Speaking of taxes, Katie McGinty went to work for Governor Wolf. And the first thing they did out of the blocks was propose the biggest tax increase in Pennsylvania since the creation of the income tax. Literally. That's what they proposed. Huge increase in income taxes. It would have hit every single family in Pennsylvania, every working family, no exceptions, and the average family would be paying $1,500 a year more in just state income taxes alone. How can that possibly help anyone? The combination of all this overregulation and these huge taxes, that's easily explains this miserable economy that we've had compared to what we could have. And that's my most important message about our economy. And that is, I hope nobody about a weak American economy.
Tuscany Square Restaurant, 3470 Wilmington Road, where old world charm meets today's modern conveniences. You'll enjoy their spacious, comfortable seating, their fresh ingredients that go into making every dish, whether it's pizza or that just right entree. Tuscany Square Restaurant, they're here to serve you. Call 724-654-3065.
Daimio and Olson Law Group, where every client matters. Serving Newcastle, Elwood City, and Youngstown. Daimio and Olson handles criminal law, bankruptcy, civil matters, workers' compensation, personal injury, medical malpractice, divorce, wills, real estate, and many more legal issues. Call any one of their offices in Newcastle, Elwood City, or Youngstown with these phone numbers. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Daimio and Olson Law Group, where every client matters. NCTV45, The Train. Anytime on your time. The Crane Room is a restaurant. The Crane Room is a bar. The Crane Room is a banquet facility. The restaurant will please you time after time with their diverse menu. Ask about their daily specials. See the menu at craneroom.com. The bar gives you an abundance of choices with 35 beers on tap and always changing. Their banquet services are always to perfection. The Crane Room, located at 3009 Wilmington Road in Neshannock Township. Call 724-656-1553.
But we see it. The retreat has emboldened the Chinese in the Western Pacific. It's emboldened Putin, who has invaded neighboring states. And of course, the Middle East is just on fire, significantly because of the retreat of American forces from Iraq after we had created a stable and peaceful society. Maybe the most egregious failure in the Middle East, though, is President Obama's Iran nuclear deal. Just for the record, as we gather here this afternoon, do you realize that the Iranian parliament has not ratified that agreement? No Iranian has signed that agreement. They will tell you, and the administration will reluctantly acknowledge, that they're not legally bound by this agreement. But the administration nevertheless gave them $100 billion. And what have they done since then? We were promised that we would see the moderates would be empowered and they would start behaving more nicely towards the United States. Really? Tell that to the 10 American sailors who were taken prisoner and whose pictures were then broadcast around the internet as propaganda for Iran. How about the missiles that they've been testing repeatedly in blatant violation of the agreement? These are missiles that have the capability of delivering nuclear weapons. Oh, and then there's just last week when we learned from German intelligence that Iranian government officials have been trying to buy nuclear technology, completely illegally, completely in violation of this agreement. And what is the response of the administration? The response of the Obama administration is, let's use American taxpayer dollars to reward Iran when they occasionally comply with the agreement they're required to comply with anyway. You can't make this stuff up. The heavy water, which is part of the technology for developing nuclear weapons, the agreement is very clear. It says Iran has to get rid of it. They have to get rid of it. The Obama administration is, well, let's pay them to get rid of it. Let's give them $7 million US as a reward for honoring that portion of the agreement that they're supposed to do anyway. It's very, very disturbing. And Katie McGinty, she's a huge cheerleader for this Iran nuclear deal. She thinks this is a great thing. I just couldn't disagree more. Guantanamo Bay. This is a prison. It is modern, state-of-the-art, completely secure, and it's on an island that is not part of the mainland of the United States. You know what I think is wrong with Guantanamo Bay prison? Too many empty beds. There should be more dangerous terrorists. It is the perfect place to keep the world's most dangerous terrorists. But that's not the way President Obama views it. He wants to close it down, and when the other countries of the world have the good sense to say, we're not taking those people here, don't you know who they are? Okay, well then we'll ship them to the United States. Why would we want to do this? But when asked, Katie McGinty applauded the President's approach to closing down Cable. The last thing I want to say on the security front is something I've been very aggressively pushing. And again, Katie McGinty and I are complete special benefit on someone if they're here illegally. It's unbelievable. Now, I've been criticized by people on the left who are fans of this idea. And they say, well, you know, you're fear-mongering. That's what you're really fear-mongering. Try telling that to the family of Kate Steiner. You know the story of Kate Steiner? Kate Steiner is a 32-year-old woman. She's walking on a pier in San Francisco one evening with her dad, when suddenly a man jumps out, starts firing a gun, hits Kate Steiner, and she bleeds to death in her father's arms. It was almost exactly 1 year ago. What's so maddening about this murder is that the shooter on the pier that evening should never have been. He had been convicted of 7 felonies and deported from the United States 5 times. He's here illegally. But worse, just 3 months before, the San Francisco Sheriff's Office had this guy in custody. They had him. And when they raised the red flag with the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Homeland Security said, oh, we know who that guy is. That guy's a dangerous criminal. We want to get him out of this country. Hold on to him until we can get one of our agents there to take him into custody so that we can ship him out. San Francisco police sheriff response was, sorry, we can't cooperate with you in this regard because we're a sanctuary city. They turned him loose onto the streets of San Francisco, from which he shot and killed 4 young, beautiful women. This is what's at stake, folks. This is a dangerous world. How many more times do we have to see? How many more attacks, whether it's in Paris or Nice or San Bernardino or Orlando? How many more times do we have to see these kinds of attacks to start to take our own security seriously? And that has to include the case of sanctuary cities. You know, this policy in Philadelphia, which is a sanctuary city, is so radical that even President Obama's Secretary of Homeland Security is completely opposed. He traveled to Philadelphia to plead with the mayor of Philadelphia, say, please, just make exceptions to your policy, if you would. So that when we tell you that the person you have is a suspected terrorist, or someone we think is an active member of a dangerous drug gang, could you then cooperate with us? And the answer is no, we won't. We're going to be a sanctuary city, period. Well, this is madness. This is not taking our security seriously, and it's a dangerous world that we live in. Katie McGinty refuses to call for an end to these sanctuary cities. But I'm not going to give up. I offered a bill on the Senate floor that would have brought an end to this. And unfortunately, our Democratic friends, I only got 2 votes from their side of the aisle. We got a majority in the United States Senate, but we didn't get the 60 votes that you need in order to actually pass something. So I'm not giving up. I'm going to go back and I'm going to fight this again because this is essential. This is extremely important. One other point I should make is, yet again last night, another horrific attack against law enforcement. I am so furious with the people who have chosen to spread a completely dishonest narrative, a completely false story that actually probably contributes to an environment where these kind of attacks can take place. And the false story is that our law enforcement, our police are a bunch of racist rogues, and they're the ones who are the threat to peace and stability. It is nonsense. They are the men and women who put on a uniform every day and take great personal risks to protect us. They protect us from the bad guys. And you know, every single profession under the sun is going to have a certain number of bad apples. That will happen because we're human beings. We should investigate and punish people when they do something wrong, in whatever walk of life that is, and that includes police. But to paint the police generally with this broad brush that attacks their integrity and their character is so unfair and it's so wrong. I'm going to continue to stand up for our police and our law enforcement. So, you know, whether it is national security, whether it is our economy, whether it's our domestic security or law enforcement, Katie McGinty and I probably might be the two most contrasting candidates in America running for Senate. If you think we should just double down on Obama's policy and just continue and even go further, by the way, Katie McGinty on Obamacare, which I'm totally opposed to and want to repeal every last word of that terrible bill. Katie McGinty wants to go further and have a single-payer system where the government just explicitly owns and controls everything. It's really unbelievable. But that's what this comes down to. Are we going to extend the failed policies of the Obama administration? Are we going to put Chuck Schumer in control of the United States Senate? Because this race in Pennsylvania could very well determine that. Or are we going to go in a different direction and start to restore the vitality, the economic growth, the prosperity, and the security that we all deserve? I think I know the answer, but I'm going to need your support to get this done. And you've been great. You've been so helpful to me in the past. We did so well in 2010 in Lawrence County, but we've got to do even better this year, and I think we can. And I can promise you this, my campaign team and I and my family, we're going to work as hard as we can every day right through election day. You can't get a day back, and it's getting closer and closer. With your support, we can get this done. You know, when I think of all the mistakes that this administration has made, the huge policy errors, the blunders, the idea that we could re-elect President Obama, I'm reminded of the great wisdom of the great Winston Churchill, who said about all of us, he said, you know, you can always count on the Americans to get it right after they've exhausted every other possible option. Well, I'm done with exhausting the other options. It's time we get it right.
Today's programming is brought to you by NCTV45 and NC Radio 450, Newcastle's community television station.
Wow, yes, it's fun to go to the Y, and now with great affordable rates, it's more swimming, more exercise, more family time. The YMCA in downtown Newcastle or the Y Zone on Eleanor Drive in Shannon Township welcomes you to a variety of programs, exercise, and fun events.
Yes, I'm in Mr. Pizza. Hi, we're here with
Sydney.
and it looks like you girls have had a great lunch. Can you tell me what you have, Sydney?
The ham and cheese sub.
Oh, today's special. What did you have?
I had pepperoni pizza and part of the ham and cheese sub, and they were both very good.
Hey, it's always best when you get your food and somebody else's. And here at Mr. Pizza, what a great time. Stop down, check out the special.
There's more than meets the eye. You gotta give them a Newcastle a try. The right small town for living. Look around.
NCTV 45, The Train, anytime on your time.
Whether it's a scheduled appointment or same-day service, DiCaprio Carpet Cleaning offers 24/7 service for commercial, industrial, and residential, as well as fire and water damage restoration. Using state-of-the-art technology, DiCaprio Carpet Cleaning experts are ready to professionally clean your carpet today. Call DiCaprio Carpet Cleaning for a free in-home estimate. Thank you for making us Lawrence and Mercer County's largest carpet cleaner.
And remember, nobody gets your carpet cleaner.
This was NCTV45's NewsWatch, an evening edition. Hopefully you enjoy our programming with Focus NC coming up a little bit later. Keep watching NCTV45 anytime on your time for the best in local programming and community news. Thanks for watching and have a pleasant evening.
If you think there's nothing to do in Newcastle and Lawrence County, then think again. Always stay connected to NCTV45 to receive the information on events going on in and around the area on a daily basis. Programs to view are NewsWatch, The Morning Show, and Community Happenings. NCTV45 takes pride in bringing you the event and organization info that you want. NCTV45 is the #1 media source locally. NCTV45, anytime on your time.